Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Give me a moment. Hey, Modest. How are you? Hey, Slick Nico twins. Is it Sincerely? Am I speaking to Run? Slick. What it do, boo? Hello. Modest, I've missed you. We gotta talk off of YouTube. Hey, Ron. How you doing, little brother? Good to see you. Yes, happy Monday. Pray everybody's Monday is rolling well. Before my break, this would typically be Motivational Monday. But as you guys can see, things are not rolling. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm about to be blind. Things are not rolling. They were the way they were before I left, and that's okay. Life is a little unpredictable for me and has been for some time now. That's kind of hard for a person who doesn't do well with change or last minute things happening. But yeah, I'm having to adjust, right? And adjusting is it's a part of life. It's something we need to learn early in life. And actually something I didn't realize I had an issue with until now. And I definitely have an issue with adjusting. I'm glad you're doing good. I need to know when y'all coming to the M Town so we can kick it. So I'm gonna see if a couple of more people are gonna come in, considering that this wasn't a scheduled live. It was on my mind. It's actually been on my mind since Friday. And then Saturday, life happened for my family. As it I won't say as it has been, but life happens. And even now, God is still good. He's faithful. It's apparent that he trusts me a lot more than I trust myself. But hey, I'm choosing to roll with it. We have 4 in the building, and I'm not gonna wait much longer for much more to come in. Hey, Nail Court, how are you, love? So good to see you. I didn't text anybody and tell them I was going live. I just came on. So those who aren't here for the live, don't feel bad. Catch the replay and watch it there. You see the title, and the title is Remembering. She said, hanging in. Hey, as long as you're hanging, you're still doing good. Hey, cousin. Hey, Kelsey, how are you? Hardaway's in the house. Hey, thank you. So if you see the title, Remembering My Why, who is Iseashia? I remember back in May, really latter part of April, finally making the decision to go ahead and create a YouTube channel. I'd been on YouTube probably since about consistently since October of last year, as far as watching or a subscriber. I really got invested in the Camille Cupcake McKinney case and praying for her. In all honesty, I mean, I prayed for that baby like she was my own. And before that, I was really caught up in the Kanika Jenkins case, and those were the two cases that kind of kept me on YouTube, trying to just make sense out of something that just didn't make sense, if that makes sense. um, and so with the Kanika Jenkins case, I had to step away because I started having nightmares and terrors and things like that. And then I saw a lot of things unfold with the different activists and people that were helping and assisting. And then I see her mom have good days and bad days. And it became a lot for me to take in. So I had to step away. And not to mention having my own issues. But when baby Cupcake came up missing, and I don't know if you guys remember, it was 3 children around the same time. It was Cupcake. It was, Lord, what's the baby name? I don't want to not remember her name. I know the last name is Taylor. And there was another child, but it was 3 children that came. Hey, Bruce, how are you? Good to see you. How about I still ahead and open those paintings? But I know that it was Cupcake, it was Taylor, and there was another baby, and kind of makes me sad that I don't even really remember the name. Taylor Rose, Cupcake, and there was one other child, and it kind of just brought me into the fold of watching YouTube and content creators. And I ended up venturing out of that because it kind of got messy with the mom, and people accusing mom and dad, and just things that didn't kind of sit right with me. So I kind of ventured out. Hey, Iris Fox, how are you? Thank you for coming in. And I found the TR show, and it was like I found family. It was a place that I'd go to daily, be in the mix. Wasn't a content creator, but absolutely love supporting content creators. But found myself finding my voice, and not that my voice had ever been lost, but realizing, okay, you can't continue to hide this. And thankfully, God put me in a place where TR and SF Rose wouldn't allow me to hide behind them and talk through them. I love you, Kelsey, and thank you so much. Thank you. I may not be speaking on behalf of the Hardaway family, but I'll try. I'll do my best. One thing, I hadn't seen them, but I'm going to do it today. And it's not to make you sad. It's just life has been, y'all, it's been real, like so real. And so, yeah. Yeah. Just, I mean, Saturday I had to deal with a family death, as well as a birthday, all in the same day. So yeah. Yeah. I'm trying. I'm trying. But it had me really thinking about, my earrings make a lot of noise, so I can take them off. I love them. They're so cute. Remembering my why. And when I came to YouTube, my goal was to shed light in dark places. Modest is a circle of life, babe. I guess for me, with this last one, if it wasn't a tragic way, then I probably could process it a little bit better. But it's hard. I am a disability advocate. I am a mental health advocate. And I don't say these things lightly. I'm trained in these areas. I sat on the first council that was created in Tennessee, the Tennessee Autism Council for Disability, and I was governor appointed by Governor Bill Haslam and set and did a term for that. I've gone to DC to advocate, to speak before legislature about individuals with different abilities. And I have sat in IEP meetings for children that aren't even mine, trying to get the school to do what they're supposed to do. Last year, September of 2019, August, September of 2019, I had to, my son was at a school that was a charter school, but that wasn't prepared for their 11th graders. And so I had to do what I've been taught to do. And I had to read a charter, a 200 and something page charter, and go before the board and fight to get that school closed because they had children in there that they weren't servicing properly. And I was successful in that. It wasn't my initial intent. My initial intent was just to get the 11th graders out. But as things continued to unfold and parents continued to reach out to me, I realized that there was a lot going on that wasn't okay. And there were a lot of federal laws that were being broken. And so that all the stuff that I had to learn basically from my youngest child so I could advocate for her and other children, I end up using on my, as they say, neurotypical child. Hey, BBK, thank you for coming in, sis. Thank you. And so one of the things that has always plagued me, my daughter, I've shared with you before, she has autism. She's nonverbal, 8 years old, the light of my life. Hey, Wayne's a slide. Thank you for coming in. The light of my life has taught me more than life itself could have taught me. She's the reason I am who I am today. She gave me a place to use my voice. I've always been this person that stands up for anybody. I'm always the person that rides with the underdog. I'm the one that will take on the bully for the person that's being bullied. It's always been me. I've never cared about me. I don't care what people say about me. I don't care about what people think about me. It doesn't matter. But when you take advantage of someone that can't help themselves, or someone that has low self-esteem, or someone that has a mental issue or a different ability, then all bets are off. I'm ready. I'm coming for you. And that's just who I've always been. That's Iseashia. A lot of times you guys hear I'm soft-spoken. I'm really not soft-spoken. I just became this way with Desi. So I guess I am, but I had to learn. You know, I remember going to different classes because the moment I found out, my daughter was 22 months. The moment I found out she had autism, I immediately, that first day, because it wasn't like I found out, if that makes sense. Like, I kind of knew, but you had to have that doctor's, the doctor to basically diagnose or whatever. I remember that very first day after I had this heavy feeling on my chest, and I cried. But after that cry, it was like, all right, let's go. We got to figure this out. We got to get her the best, what she needs, because everything that I had read said early intervention. And so I went into mode. I went into, the BBK says when she turns up, she's a beast. Yes, I went into beast mode. I try not to go into beast mode, but to learn as much as I could, not just for my daughter. I did it for my community because I realized that there was so much that, yes, Wayne's doctor's confirmation. I remember my mom saying, Isha, you should probably take her to get a second opinion. I said, no, Mama, this was my second opinion. I was the first opinion. I'd already researched. I'm looking, learning. I didn't understand, at that time, because she was in feeding therapy. The thing that made me go and look was, why is this therapist constantly trying to make my baby point? Why is she saying, look at me? Things that I hadn't even noticed. And mind you, I'm a mom of 4, but I hadn't noticed it. And so even though they're so far apart, Now, of course, said, honestly, I would never want to make you cross with me in a small room and hit your mama button. Yeah, about my kids or anybody else's. Right down to even with the school last year with my son. I'll never forget the CEO, the principal saying, so she could shut me up, Miss Thomas, your son is on track. No, every child in this building is mine, and every child is not on track. Therefore, we're going to address these issues. And that's how I feel. Like, that's just me. I love hard. I'm open. I'm honest. If I love you, I love you. If I rock with you, I rock with you. And guess what? Even if I don't rock with you 9 times out of 10, I'm still praying for you because that's just who I am. Like, I don't have what do you call what is it? Vengeance, bitterness, revenge. I don't have to get those things. I don't. Even like the scripture says, God will make your enemies your footstool. Well, if they become my footstool, it's because God did it, not because I've done anything to them to make it that way. Because I don't have time to go after people like that. But then that's not me. That's never been me, and I dare change who I am when it's taking me about 40 years to be okay with me. You get what I'm saying? And so certain things, it just is what it is. I know how I feel. There's not a person in this world that I can't get. Blacklight Records, hey Peter, thank you for coming in. There's not a person in this world that I can't get along with. Now, I'm not one to fake the funk. Larry Reed say, if something in my spiritualizations just ain't sitting right, then I can't ignore that. Modest says, vengeance belongs to God. He will repay. You do not need to. I don't have the effort like that. To sit down and plot against people requires energy, effort, thoughts, and brain space that I just don't have. I don't have it. Hey, Cocoa Butter, how you doing, love? I don't have it. And so I was sitting today thinking, really not just today, but even last week, because it's like I'm back, but what does me being back look like? I've ventured off. And when I say ventured off, like I've been in other, okay, so let's talk about this. Aisha was a little green when it came to YouTube, okay? I didn't know that there were different sectors. I'm talking even when I became a content creator. Before becoming a content creator, I just thought people were on YouTube, period. I didn't know that there were different sectors. Someone told me about the beef sector, and I remember saying, so how do I find it? Do I just go to the search button and type in beef sector? And it was like, no, and don't even go over there because you don't want it in your algorithm. I didn't know there was a mukbang section or a mukbang section. I don't know if I pronounced it right. I know what's her name? B Loves Life. I think it's like I watched her, but I thought that was ASMR. I didn't know that it was what do you call it? Mukbang or whatever. And I know about ASMR because my daughter also has sensory processing disorder. So I understand the need for some people to hear people smack, or how you guys get excited about the train and how it's, hey, pretty saucy. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for coming in. Girl, you're gonna make me cry. I'm so happy to see you. Wow. Bruce, we need to talk. I'm sorry, y'all. Saucy came in and that made my heart happy. I love her. I don't think she knows just how much. Yeah. No, thank you for putting the video out there. Like, I need those. So Saucy shared a video today of her daughter doing, her kindergartner doing sight words. Well, Desi, of course, we're not working on sight words because she's not verbal. but she does use the communication device, and so we could use it like that. But I just hadn't thought about the academic part of life for her, because I've always wanted to make sure she has the functional part of life, which is being able to communicate her needs, her wants, her desires, being able to care for herself. Like, she's potty trained and been potty trained since she was 3, 4. Being able to dress herself, being able to feed herself, those things there. And so seeing Saucy with her daughter outside today just made me realize, that's something I can do with Daisy. I hadn't thought about it, but it's something I can do because she loves drawing. She would get out there. And so that's something I could do to get her to start writing her name. Just something so simple that I just hadn't thought about. So please keep sharing videos like that, because it convicts me. It makes me go back to a sibling versus a mom. And what I mean by that is, when my brother was younger, because my brother also has autism, cerebral palsy, intellectual disability, but I didn't let anything stop him. He had oxygen in a trach, and I would wait till my mom leaves to put him on the floor. He has half a cerebellum. He should not be able to walk. But because of the sister in me, I'd wait till mom leave, sneak and get him out of his bed, put him on the floor, and his legs was probably this big, but eventually he started walking. And so now he doesn't have to have a wheelchair. Eventually he may, and his gait isn't steady, but the sister in me pushed. And so I see it with my children. My daughter, who's 24, pushes my 8-year-old. But mama sometimes is like, oh God, is that too much? Am I pushing too much? Am I pushing it too hard? I don't want to make a break, and so you need that healthy balance. And so seeing that today, it convicted me. It was like, this is something you would have done with your oldest. This is something you would. So what makes her any different? Get that baby some chalk and let her go outside and write on the concrete and start from there. And it was just like eye-opening for me. So thank you for doing it. Everybody speaking South Sea. She said, use chalk and cereal, anything that can make you. Yes. I can't wait. I'm going to open. He says, I'm going to open today, but I want to make sure I record it and that I can get my, so you can get my authentic reaction. And authentic, that's the other piece of remembering my why. This was always supposed to be an authentic platform. Like, so many people told me, you need to change your name. You need to change your name to something else. You need to change. You don't need to have your real name out there. And I was like, no, I can't go as someone other than me, saying this is a safe place where you can be your authentic self. For a safe place for uncomfortable but necessary conversations. But then I done named myself Lavender Peach. No, like who's gonna talk to Lavender Peach? But somebody may conversate. Is that no? Disregard. Take that word out. Edit, because I don't edit either. Someone may have an issue with having a conversation with a person who they don't truly know. So I try my best to bring to the forefront the things that plague me, the things that plague our community, and when I say our community, not just the Black community, the community in general, the things that plague our society. I don't always bring the same viewpoint as everybody, but it's okay. Like, this is the platform where we can agree to disagree and still move forward. Because your name is Modest Nation. She said people talk with Modest Nation. That's because your name at this point is Modest Nation. And the fact, I think also Modest, just the name in itself, shows character. Thank you, pretty saucy. I don't mind that red because I'm old Delta girl anyway, Yes. She said I would talk to Lavender Peach. That sounds like a stripper name, but it's good. It worked with my baby and help her go to sleep. Yes, this is one of my Delta Sigma Theta sorority incorporated shirts. I stepped to the ballot today and I voted. So if you guys have not voted, I don't know how it works in different states. We're in early voting right now. And so we had a first time voter in our family. my oldest son, and so he got to vote today, and it was memorable. I am so proud. Um, so yeah. Um, I'm well. Hi, Gio. Thank you for coming in. And so I had to get back to that. Like what y'all see online, I promise you, is what you see offline. Like no if ands buts about it. He said that's right, you do you. What you see is what you get. Like if Grace want to act right, I mean, with Sheila stretched out today, this is courtesy of official D Spot. I really need him to see this. She's a Delta. She's a mighty fine woman, then mighty fine, mighty fine. Um, I was listening to one of his a replay, and he kind of went in a little hard on somebody, and next thing I know, I had twisted my entire head because I was just it in 30 minutes. Minister of Music, Terrence, you be authentic. That's all I know how to be. Like I don't know how to be anything other than me, and that's just it. Like wherever I go, I'm me because I'm okay with me. And so that brought me back to remembering my why, because I was thinking about like what content, what things will I bring back to the table in being back, and what I meant by that, are you the type of person to call someone out on a fake? So Nelcore X, am I the type of person to call someone out on a fake? Absolutely not. However, and when you say call out, absolutely not. I will, however, if we have a rapport, I have no issue being honest with you about something that may be misunderstood by others. Sometimes in communication, in that, for me, I had to learn communication. Not understanding truthfully until I really got my ADHD diagnosis, in reviewing some of my friendships that I had in the past. I had to learn how to communicate. So God had kind of already set me through what do you call it? Communication classes and customer service classes. And so I'm thankful for that. But I had to learn how to communicate appropriately, because one thing about a person with ADHD, what comes up comes out, and they don't mean to hurt you. So you have to kind of learn what's not okay, or how something can come across. And trust me, I have a 24-year-old with ADHD, and it's typically in girls that way. It doesn't always show up in boys that way. And there are times I have to tell her, babe, that was a little harsh. And she was like, well, I don't mean it. No, think about what you said, and how would you feel if I, and then we have to have a whole conversation about her apologizing and her not wanting to apologize because she didn't mean it that way. And it's like, it doesn't matter how you meant it. It's how it was received. And so if that person is hurting, and they're hurting because of something you said, then it's your responsibility to correct it. Now, sometimes stuff can't be restored. And if it can't, then so be it. I remember one time her and her best friend, and they're best friends now, but they had a fallout. And I could tell it hurt my daughter. But because my daughter was this stubborn person who, she was like, I ain't saying nothing. I was like, well, what did you say? And when she told me what she said, I was like, damn. And she was like, what? I ain't mean like that. And I was telling the truth. It's like, yeah, sometimes the truth don't always have to come out though, okay? Like sometimes it's okay. Pray it, don't say it. That's all right. I'd love to meet her. Thank you, Wayne's a slot. So Aisha loves rainbows. Let's talk about that. Aisha absolutely loves rainbows. That's first and foremost. A rainbow for me is a reminder of God's promises. And not just his promises to not destroy the world with water again, but just his promises. My baby, my marriage, my children, everything. I also know that this represents pride in the LGBTQIA community. I am an ally. If I've never said it before, I'm saying it now. And I want y'all to hear me loud and clear. I am an ally to the LGBTQIA community. And I still believe in God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I still believe in heaven and hell. And I don't think those things are intertwined. And that's my belief. That's my belief. Now, of course, says, yep, you learned diplomacy. I don't know what it was. I just learned how to be nice to people. The BBK says, everybody can't handle someone else's realness. Some people can't handle critique. I can't be a yes girl and just tell you whatever you want and just tell you what you want to hear. Absolutely. I'm not that friend. The things about, I think sometimes we forget that friendships aren't going to always be rosy. You're going to have, just like a marriage, just like you fussing at your children, you're going to have moments where you're not on the same page, and that's okay. One thing that I've learned about being real, though, is if you don't ask, then I don't have a reason to be real. Now, if you ask, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. I can't remember who said it, but I try my best to mind the business that pays me. Okay, and because I really don't get paid, the business that I mind is the 3 people that I'm a caregiver for, and then the 2 minors that I'm now responsible for, and my marriage. My mom, and that's the thing I love about the BBK. I know the BBK is, and not just her, there are some others that are probably rough around the edges for others. And for me, I feel like I'm at the house, I'm at home, because my mama didn't bite her tongue. She ain't asked you if you want her opinion. She just told you what she told you, and she meant what she said, and then she'll call you and say you want to go out to eat. And it's like, but you just crushed my whole being. I don't want to be around you right now. Well, anyway, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna come pick you up. What do? You get in the car. If that's toxic, then hey. My mom taught me well, so I know how to deal with all types of people. And the other piece is I always pray that God allows me to see people's heart. Sometimes our words don't align with our heart. And there's a rainbow out. That's crazy. There's a rainbow out, and my son just sent me a picture of it. Sometimes our heart doesn't always align with our words. And sometimes it can be fixed. Sometimes it can't be fixed. And sometimes we have to be okay with it, because sometimes our actions don't. And an example that I'll give you, doorbell's ringing, but hopefully my son is on the way to the door. An example that I'll give you is a friend of mine. She needed something from me at the beginning of this year. And I've been reaching out to her. And I totally forgot what she needed from me. Now, keep in mind, I have ADHD. I've had 2 brain surgeries. I don't remember stuff well, y'all. I have to write stuff down. Not only that, I am the caregiver for my daughter, the caregiver for my brother, caregiver for my mother-in-law. I have to answer to the state on a federal level for my brother. I have to answer on a state and local level for my daughter. Now I'm having to answer on a state level and a local level for my mother-in-law, in addition to just keeping up with my own stuff. And so what she asked me to do wasn't hard. But when it comes, it was a letter that she needed. But when it comes to me writing things, I'm very wordy. If y'all hadn't noticed that yet by my community page, I'm very wordy. And I like to make sure that I'm saying the right words. Like, I like to describe things. I'm very descriptive. And so we had a conversation. She hadn't wrote her letter yet. And I was like, well, just tell me when you write yours and I'll go ahead and get it done. Because of course, I don't deal with things planned. I deal with them in a what do you call it? By priority, if that makes sense. I want to have a life where I can plan things out. Like I literally want to schedule my lives out like I did before. Um, I want to schedule my lives out. I want to schedule my posts out. I want to be ahead in my homework instead of behind. I want to be completely done with this portfolio, Jesus. Y'all pray for me real hard on this portfolio. I want to be completely done with that. But keep in mind, life keeps happening. And so your brain can only process and take so much at a time. And I've been reaching out to her and reaching out to her, and I needed her. And and when I say I needed her, it's rare that I say I need somebody, but I needed her. And she finally responded to me and she was like, I meant to text you yesterday, but I forgot. I needed something from you. I didn't get it. Out of 20 people, only 2. And I was like, come on now, this me and you know how we get down. Like, come. And so I still had to take into account what she felt. And she said, so I just need to take some time to get myself together. And I was bothered because I needed her. And so I was like, can you hurry up? Like, I'm going to let you be upset, but hurry up because I need you. And she know I don't just do that friend thing like that. No, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get better. Even with that, because that's a toxic trait that I was taught that women can't be friends. A lie. Women can be friends. Let's stop saying we can't. Raise my child up with that mess. Lord help me. Chasing the squirrel, bring it back. That's the ADHD. And so I understood her. I understand her. And I was like, can I write it now? What can I do? How can I fix it? Because I want to fix it. I want to help you. Like, you've been there for me. And we this right here is not going to be the thing that, I mean, we're sisters. Forget friends. My child is 24 years old. You've been in my life that long. No, ma'am. What's up? We ain't never had no falling out. We don't get down like that. But I had to give her the space that she wanted. And we're coming around. It's hard because I want to talk to her now, but I have to respect her space. And so it's a part of life. But again, I would never do anything intentional to hurt her. But my heart and my actions didn't align. And so I could see how she felt slighted by me because my heart and my actions, what she needed at that time, didn't align. But life for me was happening back to back to back. There were plenty of days that I came on here and y'all didn't even know half of the battles that I have been fighting. And some of them I can't even release because it's even though it's me doing the work, it's not my testimony to necessarily tell, if that makes sense. And so, yeah. So yeah. I was going with the everybody can't handle the realness. So some people can't. But when it comes to critiquing, we have to make sure that it's asked for. If it's not asked for or solicited advice, especially if you don't know where that friendship is. Now, for me, I've never wanted yes people around me. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Like, you're wrong. You shouldn't have said that. And allow me an opportunity to explain why I've said what I said or explain why I've done what I've done. And then we can move forward. Some things I may be like, you know what, you're right. And some things I may be like, I don't agree with it, but okay, let's agree to disagree. That's life. It happens. Modest Nation says, I love rainbows. I do. I have a picture. I have to find it where I was on a cruise ship. It was our honeymoon. And it was, we had an I Believe God movement at our church, and rainbows were a symbol of that movement. And literally on the picture, it looks like I'm touching the rainbow. Like, that's how close the rainbow was to the ship. I have to find that picture. But yes, I love rainbows. Gio, you said, could you ask me a question? So hopefully I answered your question, Nail Court. I I don't mind calling out a person. I won't say if they're fake, but if they're not being themselves. But we have to have a relationship. Other than that, I'm not finna come around and be like, "Oh, you're fake." No, I'm not doing it. And also, if it's a situation where I know something is going on with you and you're not yourself, but you're trying to be yourself, like I'm one of those people that can read through that. I've since I was little. Um, Ones just I said, "Amen." To BBK, I'm the same way. I have no filter either. So people have learned to know what to X me and when to X me. Yeah. Thankfully, I have a filter. I learned how to have one because I had a mother that didn't have one. Amen. Um, yes, you can ask me something, Gio. You can. Positive. Hey, positive pusher. How are you, love? Pretty saucy said, "Amen." I don't even know what to, but thank you. BBK say right when he's a slide, and sometimes my friends will tell me it didn't come out right, and I'm always ready to apologize. And that's fact. That is absolute fact. I can say that for the BBK. Honestly, I can say that is fact. And she's quick to say, "Well, but I didn't mean it like that," and I can appreciate that. Once I said hi to BBK, we're gonna work on it unapologetic. I can't do realness with flowers and butterflies. So that's the piece. I think sometimes we get being real confused with having to be mean. You don't have to be mean to be real. You don't have to be unfiltered to be real. You don't have to be hard to be real. Being real is just being you. Truth is just truth. Like it doesn't have to come out a particular way. Truth is truth. And that was something that I kind of had to work with my mom on. It didn't really work. I mean, she was still herself, but I tried. I was like, "Mom, that's mean. That's or whatever." And sometimes I get on her nerves. Like she would be like, "What do the kids say? STFU." That's what she would tell me. But she would say the words like, "I don't want to hear that BS. I said what I said and leave me alone." But yeah, the positive pusher says, "Yes, definitely don't ask me if you don't really want to know what my opinion is because it may not be what you think. I'm not a yes person." Exactly. And I can tell you 3BK and the positive pusher aren't yes people, but their way of telling you totally different. Totally different. But I know for me, I can accept either way because of who I was raised by. That just sounds so bad. I'm sorry, but truth is truth. Let's just all be real here. Wayne's a stop. It's like clap back. Well, yeah, but sometimes we don't even need to clap back. Sometimes we need to just let it go. Yes, you can ask me a question. Let's see. That's speaking. Clap back and pop off with the quickness. And now only if it's about my children or somebody's being bullied. Amen. And even then, my clap back or my pop off isn't even always me cutting up. Like I can do it in the sweetest way. Awesome. Blacklight Records says he loved your recent live at the Positive Pusher. I gotta get caught up. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm way behind on these comments. Fantastic travels. Hey. So my why is all change. That can happen in a moment. Absolutely. I said on the live last Tuesday that I'm not the same content creator I was before I left. Like, I don't know. I pray everybody sticks with me. But I'm not that same girl. I'm not that same woman. My mindset has kind of changed. the level of importance for some things have changed for me. My content may go a way that some people are probably gonna be like, no, I can't roll with that. Because keep in mind, I am still on a quest for truth. And when I say truth, I mean spiritually. Um, uh, and then with things in my life, like, and I was on this quest before the break, but I'm on it even more now with all of the losses that have been experienced. So, things that I put when I came out, to empower, to inspire, empower, motivate, uplift, raise awareness, like all of that. It still encompasses the things that matter to me, like mental health, um, different abilities, injustices, um, things that definitely just kind of need to be talked about, but my perspective or my view may have changed. And I don't know if that makes sense. So a great example in, I voted already, so hey. I don't believe, how can I say this? And this is gonna sound so crazy. Aisha is pro-life. I believe that every seed that is procreated has a purpose. I firmly believe that. If it was by rape, if it was by molestation, that seed that eventually fetus, embryo, baby is not the sin. The act that occurred is. Giving up a child is not a sin. Because that's why we have these different agencies, and there are families that cannot have children. So I am very much pro-life. I am. However, I don't feel that I have the right to tell any woman what to do with her body. Why? Because I serve a God that doesn't make me serve him. It's optional. We have free will. I don't have to believe in God. And so that's my thought. So that puts me in a place of well, wait a minute, you're not a Democrat, you're not a Republican, I think I'm very conservative. My views are conservative. One of the very first things that I talked about is I hate labels. Don't label me. Don't call me a Dem, a Repub, a Lib, an N, a dependent, a green, left, right. I'm Iseashia. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Iseashia. And I don't have a right to tell any woman what to do with her body, not even my own children. So I'm that person that will, and there's a couple of people that can vouch for this. I'm that person that will give you the advice that I believe, but I'm also that person that will hold your hand to go through when you decide on whatever decision you decide, because it's not my place to judge. I don't have a heaven or a hell to put anyone in. I don't. And so that's where I stand. Second Amendment right, gun control. I believe that every American citizen should be able to bear arms. I believe that if you've been in jail for a violent crime, that right should be taken from you. However, I don't believe that every American should have access to artillery, military grade artillery. I believe that a special type of training should come with that before you can purchase that. Why is that? Well, I've never served in the military. I did 1 week at Fort Knox with ROTC because I did ROTC all the way through school. First weapon outside of a BB gun that I ever shot was an M16. But before I could shoot that M16 out of that foxhole and made marksmanship, I had to know how to take that weapon apart, put it together, take it apart, put it together, clean it, and make sure it never touched the ground. If they had to put that weapon in my hand at 16, I was somewhere between 15 and 16, 14 and 16. If they had to put that weapon in my hand, and if you don't know what an M16 is, Google it. It's an automatic weapon. If they had to put that weapon in my hand without formally training me, I could kill myself and everybody around me. So I don't agree with civilians having military grade artillery. But I do believe that every American has the right to carry. That's my belief. So again, don't label me. It doesn't put me in anybody's party because that's my belief. Okay, let's see. Oh, I love it, Bruce, though. Bruce said, oh, I'll tell you if you're wrong. You know my filter. Yours is very similar, but you still do it in a good way. Hey, Bridget, how are you, Queen? I'm happy to see you. So, Gio, I am content actually taught me how to do it. She did a video on it, and I am going to tag you and actually everyone else that asked me about that emoji in her video. I'm gonna reshare it and make sure I tag all of you guys' name in there. Nelcor says, I think I bring it up because it's difficult to know people are real on YouTube. Absolutely. But here's the thing, Nelcor, and this is what I'm learning. One thing I tried to stay away from, I will be very honest, Brooke Valentine, CEO, Secretary of Information, and both the BBK did their best to keep Iseashia away from the beef sector. No, Brooke and I aren't on the same page anymore, and that's okay. I wish her well. I'm sure y'all saw some things on my timeline on Friday night, and that's because, again, I don't like bullies. I don't like for people to throw rocks and hide their hands. But even in that, I had to pray, and God has shown me how to go about doing what I need to do. And I'm going to do what I need to do. But I will say, both her and the BBK was like, do not go over here to the B sector. I don't want you watching it. I don't want you watching. I'm like, well, and so little by little, each one allowed me to see somebody's page or whatever. And I still don't have the whole history because, again, I was green to the fact that there were sectors in YouTube. I just didn't know. I was also green to the fact that the blue wrench is very important. Like, friendships can be truly ruined by this blue wrench. I didn't know that before I became a content creator. But there are people in the beef sector that I like. And so I'm going to follow them. I'm going to talk in their chat. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to be me wherever I go. There are people in the, and I don't know if I'm ever saying it right, is it mukbang or mukbang community that, or sector that I like. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to enter into their chats. I'm going to have a good time. Like, that's what it's about. So when you talk about knowing if someone is real on YouTube or not, things that I'll tell you to look for and things that I've found to be very consistent is listen to what they say and the things that they do, and make sure they match up, they link up. A lot of times you can tell a liar, and this is just me being honest, you can tell if a person is a liar or not just by listening to them. If you hear them say something in the same live that they just said within seconds or moments of each other, they're probably a liar. If you notice that they're always at odds with somebody, then that's probably not someone that you want to get close to. And that's just me being honest. But at the same time, you have to realize that YouTube is just that, it's YouTube. Everybody didn't come to YouTube to be their authentic selves. Everybody didn't come to YouTube for some people, it's about creating content. Like, I think about the painting sector, like art, or is it the artist sector? I don't even know Bruce, what is that sector called? Like, I don't even know, but that opened my eyes to a whole lot of different people that I didn't even know. And I love art. I mean, when I say art, all forms, singing, dancing, painting, drawing, I love art. And so I didn't know. Did you know there's a whole conscious sector? There's a whole reality sector. There's a whole what's the motivation sector, meditation sector, yoga. Like, there's so many different sectors that I just, and no, you cannot go and type in that particular sector. I'm just type in what you want, and then you probably can get it from there. And so when it comes to a content creator, and this is me even talking about myself, take it for face value, but listen. And in listening, you can determine if that's something you want to link yourself to. You can determine if it applies to you. One thing I will say is, don't ever put people in the same boat. And what I mean by that is, the amount of people that have contacted me because they felt that because I was friends with a particular person, that I was like a particular person. Because, we're quick to say birds of a feather flock together. No, Jesus sat at the table with tax collectors, thieves, robbers, and everything else. So no, that's not the case. And I'm not referencing myself as Jesus, because, child, I got more flaws and issues than I care to even disclose. So I am not perfect. But at the same time, don't judge a book by its cover. Go in. You don't have to always go in and talk. One thing I've learned in this last couple of weeks is, don't be so quick to hit the subscribe button. Don't be so quick to hit the join button. Sit back a minute. Watch. Communicate. Talk before you give your all to a content creator. And I say that because you can't find out a lot about people in one session. Sometimes it takes a few. Like, I'm sure you guys never in a million years thought I would have been tagging somebody with receipts on my community wall. I didn't. Who got time for that? But at the same time, in my mind, I'm proving a point of, how dare you go and do this to someone when you did this very thing to me? That's not okay. But then I had to realize, guess what? It's not my fight. It became my fight, sort of, kinda, because out of the blue, you came for me. But then it takes me back to remembering why I'm here. And that's not why I'm here. And so that's why I deleted the posts. I didn't delete them because anybody asked me to. I didn't delete them because I felt guilty. I deleted them. I didn't delete them because I was wrong. Because truthfully, I wasn't wrong. All I did was put on display the very thing that that person was accusing someone else of. But it's not why I'm here. It's not why I'm on YouTube. My channel is supposed to be a safe place for us to have the uncomfortable but necessary conversations. So that covers a multitude of things. Right now, I'm toiling with doing a live about a pastor who, for lack of a better word or understanding, basically lost it. And went on Facebook Live, and a bishop, rather, went on Facebook Live. And baby, when I say he said he snapped, his words, he had snapped. But I didn't pay it. The crazy part is I wasn't paying attention to what he said or what he was saying as much as I was paying attention to the comments that were being made. And the comments that were being made was, don't do this online. Y'all, let's pray. Everybody call at one time. Let's get them off the line. This isn't okay, Bishop. You're shedding a bad light on us. Don't do that, Bishop. Bishop, that's wrong. Nobody was listening to this man cry out. This man, whether he was crying out. But instead of being concerned about his cry, they were concerned about what it made the church look like. Call the archbishop, call the dean of this and have him to call him. So forget the fact that this man has said, I've snapped. I'm done. I took my cloak off, or whatever you call the garment that the big people wear, took it off and I threw it in the trash. Forget that, because that's important. But it wasn't to them, to those that made the comments. Those that made the comments was more concerned about how bad it made the church look, about how bad he was making his wife look, about how bad, but nobody cared about what mental state he was in at that time, or the fact that he had already tried to commit suicide months ago. We more concerned about what it looked like. That's a problem. That is a problem. Or even in our families, we know people have mental illnesses. We know it. It's documented. And we still don't handle them accordingly. Well, what do you mean handle them accordingly? You can't lock them in a room. No, you can't lock them in a room. But there's a thing called due diligence and making sure that we're watching behaviors and that we understand behaviors and that we can tell when something's a little off kilter. Sometimes we worry about the wrong things. So again, that's what this platform is for. Not to judge anybody, but to raise awareness, to uplift, empower, inspire, to let people know that if I made it through, you can too. Last weekend, I got to celebrate my daughter's wedding. Here's the story with it. I was a senior in high school. My mother told me I had to have an abortion. So you're talking about a woman that had already beaten me and many other things. I had to stand up to her and tell her no, that I wasn't, that I was going to have this child. I remember praying, and I didn't even really know how to fully pray. Didn't even know if my prayers were truly being heard because this baby was out of wedlock. But asking God to allow me to have a girl so that my mom could get the opportunity to get it right. So that my mom could know what it feels like to have a daughter and to have a mother-daughter relationship. And guess what? Me and my mother didn't have that. Oh, but that 24-year-old and my mama, thick as thieves. There was nothing she could do wrong in my mother's eyes. When I told my mother no, she said, "Don't ask me for nothing. I'm not babysitting. I'm not buying no pampers. I'm not buying no socks. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that." I didn't have to start buying uniforms for the girl until she was in the 10th grade. And I think that's only because I ended up getting married, which is crazy, but I don't know. I can't tell you why that changed, but it is what it is. There was nothing that she couldn't get from her grandmother. Her grandmother was the best grandmother. But the story behind that is I was a senior in high school. I was on the homecoming court. The what do you call the person, the advisor over the homecoming court, which was somebody that I was very fond of and still is to this day, told me I couldn't be on the homecoming court because I was pregnant. That was the first time. Second, because first was my mama. Second time that I stood up for myself and said, this isn't right. This isn't fair. Nobody knew. At that time, I wasn't even showing. Nobody knew that I was pregnant. So I fought it. And I became a part of the homecoming court. But teachers started looking at me a little differently, so much so that I just stopped going to school. And I thank God for the principal and the teachers that I did have support from that begged me to come back so that I could graduate with my class. I had been there since the 7th grade, so I can graduate with my class. So on prom night, I was able to go to prom, and I had just had a baby 4 weeks before that. And thankfully, there was a little old lady across the street that was babysitting children, and so I could drop her off. But even before that, her grandfather would work 11 to 7 at night and then watch her during the day so I could go to school. But this is the same little girl that I was told to abort. That little girl broke cycles. My mother had me her senior year. My grandmother had her first child out of wedlock. My daughter made it to 24, graduated high school, graduated college, got a job, got married, and moved into her home. She broke a cycle. And so, why am I pro-life? She's why I'm pro-life. Every odd was like stacked against me. My father told me that her daddy wasn't going to be a part of her life. Told me I made the biggest mistake of my life. Stopped talking to me for a while. But I was determined. I ain't go out and party. Shoot, graduation night I thought I was, and my mama was like, I gotta go to work tomorrow. So guess what I did? I went home with my baby. I didn't get to hang out with my class. And my mama made sure that I raised my baby. And it's probably why my children are spaced so far apart, because I didn't need 2 little children at the same time. But I did end up marrying her father. Did it work? Nope. There was a time that I had to realize, wait, I married you because I wanted my daughter to have her father, because I didn't have one. But you're not showing her what a husband should be. You're not even truly showing her how a father should truly treat his children. So I'm doing more damage to her than good. So she was the reason I married him. And she was a part of the reason that I divorced him. But it's still a story that some young lady can hear and realize, if she did it, she made it, I can make it too. Was it a planned pregnancy? No. But it happened. And I made it. And again, I didn't know about praying to that degree, but I did the best that I could do. Iris Fox says, Aisha, I remember telling you about my sons. Yes, but I must do some more research on the sensory processing, because I believe that strong trait to us. Absolutely. They are connected. I'm okay, but going through rough times, hanging in there. Keep hanging, Susie. And hey, Susie, thank you for coming in. BBK says, problem is when it come up, it just comes out because we're passionate about our outspokenness. Yes. And so I had to learn how to sometimes pray it and don't say it. Hey, Carter Club, I'm sorry, y'all done came in on me and I'm just talking. I love yours, bro. Your smile is the best. Don't play with it. Hi, just vlogging live. Carter Club, I am content. Susie says YouTube is no place for bullies. I'm sorry, YouTube is full of bullies. Unfortunately. Now, of course, said, what is the B sector? No, it's beef as in arguing, I guess. But you don't want to be over there, nail court. Thank you, Susie. I love, and I don't even mean to sound, what is that? Like puffed up, but I love who I am too. And it took me 40 years to get to this place, so I'm good with me. Hey, Vivette, how you doing? Thank you so much, Susie. Bruce said, no drama, art. I'm not changing for YouTube. YouTube is changing for me. Preach. He said, oh, no, I'm not a part of it. There's a whole positive sector. That's right. Hashtag positive sector. Wayne's a slot says when I first, Wayne's a slot. There's a whole like slot in scratch off section, like truly YouTube University. Wayne said, when I first started my channel, I kept my blinds drawn and only watched the slot community. I missed out on so much good content. Yes, that I'm not seeing. I now follow several channels in different communities. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I go through their lives if they have them in their videos to get to know them. Yes. Absolutely. Thank you. I think I needed you tonight. Oh, Vermont. Susie. Bless y'all. Hey, Mr. Fulton. Thank you for sharing me out. I know you want to interview me in this. The next 2 weeks are kind of crazy. Yeah. Hey, Mo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Terrence, for the super chat. Trying to make sure I'm reading everything. Oh, Wayne, he says you were the trailblazer that changed the views for the future generations. Wow. To God be the glory. And you know, Susie, I was just talking to my I don't like saying sister-in-law, my youngest sister, but she's from my first marriage. And one of the things that I believe is when you marry into a family, you're married into a family. Those are my little sisters, regardless. I've been around them since they were 6 years old and I was 17. So they're still my little sisters. And she got engaged Saturday. And I was super excited for her. But one of the things that I told her is that your brother and I probably should have stayed friends. Because truthfully, I'm that friend that will call him out on his wrong, where most of his friends don't. And so, yeah. But the beauty is, and I tell my children to this day, I don't regret that he is their father, because otherwise I wouldn't have the children that I have, and I love them. Just vlogging life. This is such a warm story. Your voice is like an audible book. Wow. Soothing to the soul. And oh, wow. Thank you. I don't even like listening to me. Thank you. Tell it someone will benefit from your story. Yes. Like I firmly believe nothing with God is wasted. And so I was young when I was singing and didn't know that it was the Clark sisters. I thought it was what's them people? Was it SWB? I don't know. The one with Tiny in it, I can't remember. But is my living in vain? Like the stuff that I endured can't be in vain. So it must be for somebody else. I can share a story with you. Desi had to have surgery at 8 days old because she was born with malrotation. And I just didn't understand it because it was like, God, like I had already had to square up with God. And when I say square up, I had to square up with God in labor and delivery room because she came out not breathing and had to have emergency C-section. I'm like, God, you told me to have this baby. You need to make her breathe. Like I went to God. Like we had to square up, and she started breathing. And then 8 days later, here she has that surgery. So I'm like, God, what are you doing? And that's how I talk to God. Like we communicate like that. And it was after her surgery, she was supposed to come back to the room. She didn't. She ended up going to the NICU and had to be on a ventilator. Now, mind you, I knew what a ventilator looked like because my brother was on a ventilator, but that was in 1989. And so in 2011, that ventilator looked nothing like the ventilator from 1989. It was literally like going from a suburban to a geo. Like this, how small the newer ventilator is. And so I remember walking in the room and my husband just broke down. He couldn't even stand there. He cried. And I remember looking and saying, "Where's the ventilator?" And she was like, "This is it right here." I was like, "On this table?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, I was like, my brother was, in NICU for the first year of his life, and he was on the ventilator, but it was much. She was like, "Oh yeah, honey, those things there are a thing of the past. We don't use them." So I was able to go through that with my daughter a little bit easier. But I was placed right next to a child who had been there for a while with RSV, whose parents didn't pray, for lack of a better explanation, the way that I prayed. And I'll just leave it at that. And it was the middle of the night. Mind you, I had just had the old school C-section, not the cute one. But I heard something. And so I know it was God told me to get up and write down the names of the children and pray for them. And each child name was on their door. So I got up and I walked the hall, which was a circle, and I wrote down every child's name. And one child came in the middle of the night, and they were just getting that child settled in the room, but they already had the name on the door, and I wrote it down. And when I went back to the room, I woke my husband up and I said, "I need you to pray with me." And we prayed for all of those children. I even sent the names to our church at that time, and they called out every child's name. Well, we were sitting in the family waiting area, eating lunch. Someone had brought us lunch. And there was a lady, I heard her on the phone. Her child had just been brought in at night. It was the child that had been brought in the middle of the night. And she was like, "I can't talk to God. I can't pray about this. He doesn't know me. I don't even know how to pray." It was just so many different things that she was saying. And I heard her. And when she got off the phone, I got up and I walked over to her and I asked her, I said, "What is your baby's name?" And I had my notebook and she told me. And so I know that it was God because the way his room was, he wasn't at the end of my list. He was in the middle of my list. So there was no way I could have written it right then. And I pointed to it. I said, "My husband and I prayed for your baby. And we also sent his name," I remember it was a boy, "to our church." I said, "But don't you ever let anybody tell you that you can't pray to God. You can pray to God for yourself. I don't care what position you're in, what situation you're in, how high you are, how low you are. God wants to hear from you." And it was at that point that I realized, okay, so I'm not here for me or Dizzy. It's not about Dizzy. If I do what God wants me to do, then he's got Dizzy. So in that same time, we end up praying for a young lady who had to have brain surgery, who was flown in with her mom, and her dad had to drive several hours. And just so happened, my husband ends up meeting the dad, having a conversation, and she goes home before my daughter does. We're cheering, like the kids that we prayed for that day, they were just calling their names and they're getting ready to go to the next floor. And we're cheering for them like it's us going to the next floor. And finally, our turn came and we went to the next floor. And that's when I honestly realized that wasn't just about Dizzy. That was about those other children that needed somebody to cover them and pray for them. It was about that lady that needed to know that she don't have to have anybody to go to God for her. She can do it herself in whatever state that she's in. And so a lot of times we think we're going through something for us, but it's not about us. It's about somebody else, and it's about how we're going to handle it while we're in it. It was earlier this year, I believe it was, that I reread the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and how the king basically were putting them in the fiery furnace because he told them not to pray, and they continued to pray to God. And so they told him, we believe God is going to save us, but even if he doesn't, we know that he's able. And so they put them in the fire. When the whoever put them in the fire, the guard, whatever, went to look, instead of seeing 3 people, they saw 4 people. Now, if you think about God, the sensible thing, or not the sensible thing, but the thing that we want to happen, right, is to be taken out of the fire. But sometimes we're not going to be taken out of the fire. Sometimes God's going to get in the fire with us because it's not about us. And so when they came out of that fire untouched, that's when the king bowed and said, I want to serve the God that you serve. And so sometimes we have to realize that choosing to serve God doesn't mean that every day is going to be Sunday. It doesn't mean we're going to be rich. It doesn't mean that we're going to have everything that we need. It doesn't. But we have to know that there's something greater after this. And we got to find out for ourselves what that is. And I ain't going to just get to, because, I told y'all this channel ain't all that spiritual like that, right? This just my beliefs and what I believe, right? I sound like Rita when I did that. Then I want to say, right. Okay. I love me some Rita. Hey, you can talk your way to a healthier relationship. Yeah, I'm so behind. Hello to everybody that I have not spoken to directly. I didn't realize how far behind I was. You're okay, love. Animal feeding time. Feed old Miss Daisy. I am awesome. I can see you're much better. Yes, I am. Cocoa Butter says, thank you so much, Aisha. You are truly, truly an awesome person. I agree. At Just Vlogging Life, I would definitely be tuned into her audio. Keep up the great work, Aisha, and stay positive. Thank you, Cocoa Butter. And I am trying. Yeah, every day isn't good, but I'm trying. Vermont paint, a very lovely, I know that's what you're trying to say, painting today. Julie, hi. I do watch people from other communities also. Absolutely. On your way to 400. Way to go, Gio. Escape. Thank you, Positive. Boy, Positive, you're right there for me when it comes to their music. Next chapter, Desi surgery. Just Vlogging Life. Thank you. Hey, Cindy. Yes, he does. The Lord wants. Yes, God is good. He knows what needs to be done. Absolutely. And I trust him with every part of my being. Hey, Correct Code 6. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the thumbs up. Yes. Susie says, I talk to God every day like I'm talking to my best friend or parent. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Miss T Velocity. Thank you for coming in. How are you? I'm good, Cindy. How are you? Exactly, Vivette. Praying to God is just having a conversation. Yeah, reverence is great, but sometimes we just have to, like I said in the delivery room, me and God had to square up. I was like, but hey, no, God, I was yelling at God, telling him what he was gonna do because I honored him and did what he told me to do. I didn't want any more children. I didn't. Yes, he's always available. Oh, it was a lonely painting. I love the colors. I have to check it out. I'm glad you're doing well, Cindy. I'm so happy to hear from all y'all. I have literally been talking for almost an hour and a half. So I guess this is definitely a motivational Monday type thing. But my motivation would be to just remember who you are. Remember your why. More than anything, remember why you started this YouTube journey. And it doesn't mean that it's not gonna, the trajectory won't change, because it can. Um, but in the trajectory changing, just make sure it aligns with who you are, um, and what you want to bring into the world and leave as a legacy. Because here's the other piece, like, these videos will forever be out here. Whether I delete it or not, someone could easily have downloaded it, screen recorded it. It's out here. And so we need to kind of remember that when we say some of the things that we say. You all are awesome. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. So yes. My why: inspire, empower, motivate, uplift, bring awareness, talk about some injustices, and just help us to see things from a different perspective. And me seeing things from a different perspective sometimes means I have to play devil's advocate, to get people to see. So I feel in this last 5 minutes, I will share with you why it's important for me to say that I am an ally of the LGBTQIA community. I have a friend, having lost a friend that was a part of the community, that I thought was well accepted and well loved, only to find out afterwards that he had a lot of lonely days. He didn't feel accepted. He wrote me a goodbye poem. In that poem, he said, I didn't know who he was. And he wrote this some years ago. And I was so frustrated with the poem because I was like, I do know. I did know. I always knew. I knew when you didn't know. I knew. The problem with that is, so many times we say, I accept you. That's between you and God, because we all have our sins to deal with, right? But I want you to know that's the equivalent to someone telling me, I accept you being Black. That's between you and God. We all have our sins to deal with. Me being Black isn't a sin. Or I accept you being white. That's between you and God. We all have our sins to deal with. Being white isn't a sin. And so when we say, that's between you and God, we all have our set of sins to deal with. You're telling that individual that they are a sin. And we can't get into the semantics of actions. No, they're not a sin. Their actions are. Their action is who they are. And so when I say that Aisha's views have changed, when I say that I'm looking at life from a different lens, I am. When I say I'm on the search for truth, I'm on the search for truth. Not what the Baptist church taught me, not what the non-denominational church taught me, not what Church of God in Christ has been teaching, not what the Kingdom Hall has taught me, not what the Masjid has taught me, but the truth about God. Because yes, we have a Bible, but guess what? Anything touched by man is tainted, because we're imperfect people. Do I read the Bible? Absolutely. It's in my quiver. The word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword. Absolutely. Do I feel that some pieces are missing? Absolutely. Why do I feel this way? Perhaps because a council of men sat down and decided what was going into it and what was not. That's me. Do I believe in intercessory prayer? Absolutely. Do I believe in spiritual warfare? Absolutely. But I also know that the word says, "What let he that has ears hear, let them hear." And how can they hear except for a preacher? And how can he preach except he be sent? So this whole like seminary and theology, it still only goes. There's no way, and I'm not Scientology. Let me put that out there. I'm not anything. Don't label me. I'm searching for my truth. I'm searching for the truth. But we cannot deny science. We can't use science when it's appropriate to show that God is real, but then discard science when it doesn't align with what we think is right. Um, Hi, positive. Positive. Your birthday is this week. Actions, not color. What God has taught you. Yes, we are. Amen. And so that's kind of where I am. I encourage you, um, if you have members of the LGBTQIA community in your family, have conversations with them. Don't shun them. Don't make them feel like a sin. Don't make them feel broken. Too many lives have been taken because we're uncomfortable. If you have people in your family with mental illness, check on them. Check on the caregivers. Go around more. Learn behaviors. It's important. And more than anything, love on those who are around you. Hey, Gossip Girl 20. Thank you for coming. First time here, but not our first time communicating. Wayne's a slut. He created us in his eye. It's how he wanted us to be. So to me, there's nothing to settle between me and God. Hey, Ibo Shata. Yes, sir. You said that right. And there it is. Thank you, Gossip Girl. There it is, Wayne's a slut. There it is. Done done. That's what we say sometimes here in Memphis. Done done. There it is, and we're done done. Yeah. Done done. And I know God is real. Can't nobody tell me he ain't. Not at all. Exactly. Hug them like you will anyone else. Embrace them like you will anyone else. And that's just like, yeah. There's so much more that I'd like to share, but I'm gonna end it here. I mean, today was really about remembering my why and who is Iseashia. And Iseashia is what you see. Like I assure you, I just started this journey in May on Mother's Day. That was the first video that I uploaded, and I'm still learning. But I assure you, if you go through each one of those videos, you're not going to see anything different. There's even one, maybe two, maybe three videos where I've had to address somebody. I was still the same. What you see is what you get. My Facebook page isn't private. For what? Most of my information is public. Why hide it? I'm not perfect. I don't pretend to be. I'm not worried about anybody coming for me because I carry that Second Amendment right. Okay. Um, Positive energy giver. You get it right back. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I firmly believe in. Like this, Vermont doesn't even, or Bruce doesn't even realize, but this picture signifies so much in my life. It was on YouTube that I said, I'm done looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. I am the light in the tunnel. Period. No ifs, ands, buts about it. I'm the light in the tunnel. So on my dark days, I can't look for anybody to come for me. I got to get up, open the blinds, take a shower, and try to proceed. Thankfully, I do have a husband that's an accountability partner. But even lately, with mom and life kind of progressing and changing, he's had a lot on him too. So I am the light in the tunnel. I'm not waiting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Who's to say I'll make it to the end of the tunnel? So I'm going to be the light right now. I don't think you did, Bruce. Just Vlogging says, I remember that video in the car. LOL. I don't know how I found you still. I'm just thankful that you found me. And that's just like, I can't remember who. Rick Reed. And I know people are going to be like, oh my God, I was just listening to Rick Reed. I stumbled upon his channel. And I remember the first time I was so confused. I was like, does he really talk like that? And then the second time I was amused. I was like, oh, he really talks like this. Then the third time he shared a video of somebody in his family and they talk like him. I was like, oh my goodness. Now it has me want to know we're Journey from Darkness. Wow. That is awesome, Bruce. I need to write that on there. Journey from Darkness. I'm writing it down. But I listen to him and he makes me laugh. Now, is it sometimes at other people's expense? Well, I mean, it is the beef sector. So everybody need a little reality TV in their life. Everybody needs a guilty pleasure, okay? I think. But I am one to tell you to protect your eye gates and your ear gates. So, I am mindful about the different pages I do go to. But he's one I'll go to because, again, I'm not the cursing and stuff doesn't bother me. Like, it's almost, maybe I need therapy. I mean, I'm already in therapy, but maybe because it's almost soothing because it's what I'm used to. Like, it would be me to be like, Mom, really? Like, can you tone it down? And, so I don't know. But I stumbled upon his page and I'm kind of glad I did. Like, he's hilarious. He's hilarious. Rita, I love going to her page. I wish I could see her old videos because she said she came on here just to do her comedy. Like, she is hilarious. So, like, I want to see the comedy sketches. I know they have to be hilarious. Everybody I interact with, let me say this, ain't none of us. And I said ain't none perfect. We aren't flawless. Let's not judge. Yeah. Because you never know. You may be the light that God is sending someone's way. Again, Jesus didn't eat with the folk at the church. Jesus went over there with the tax collectors and the thieves and the robbers. Gio, absolutely, I will share you out, dear. Yes, laughing is healing. There's a scripture, Proverbs. Oh my goodness. 22:6 is the children, I think. Proverbs. This is in Proverbs, but a merry heart, 17 and 22. Or 22 and 17. 17 and 22, I think. A merry heart does good like a medicine, and a broken a broken spirit dries the bone. You need laughter. Don't take everything so serious. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to, like, y'all. I'm trying to think. Was it Saturday? Saturday, I had to laugh to keep from crying. Like, I need you to know I woke up okay. I went to a yard sale. I was super happy about that. Went to my brother's brunch, only to find out that we lost a family member at the hands of another family member that has a mental illness that needed to go and tell the extended family members, mother and grandmother. And then I was throwing a surprise birthday party for my brother, and my sister-in-law was getting engaged. I dealt with all of that on one day. Gotta be able to laugh to keep from crying. You got to. Much peace and love to you, Bruce. Thank you. Yes, Rita is hilarious. Baby, from here on out, like I used to tell my children, stop being so nosy. Oh, it's ear suctioning. Don't play with me. Quit ear suctioning. We used to say ear hustling. Quit ear suctioning. Quit ear suctioning, baby. I can't. I said, quit ear, or I'm about to go over here and ear suction. Let me go. Yes, you need some laughter. A merry heart does good like a medicine. And so sometimes we can't be so uptight, and we can't be so, and someone said it, we can't be so heavenly bound that we're no earthly good. And I think I'm gonna hang my hat right there. But yes, so I thank y'all for joining me today. Typically this would be Motivational Monday. I guess I still could say it was kind of Motivational Monday. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave the title that I have, and that's Remembering My Why. And who is Iseashia? I pray that you guys got a little more understanding about who I am. I could tell you, and I think it's a song, but the lyrics says, I am who I am today. And God doesn't make mistakes. And so that's me. Whatever I've been through, whatever I believe. I'm so happy you were here today, Susie, as well. Those are my beliefs. I won't force them on you. As long as you can accept me for me, I can accept you for you. I will continue to bring as much positivity, motivation, inspiration, awareness, conversations. Like, I want you guys to feel safe here. I want you to know that this is a safe haven. I don't care who you are. I don't have anybody blocked, except for this one lady that kept popping up with no clothes on in my comments. But I don't have anybody blocked. Everybody's welcome, as long as we can be adults in the chat. I've said it from day one. It could be the Grand Wizard of the KKK. If we can have a productive conversation, baby, let's talk. Let's communicate. Let's see what's up. Why you don't like me? What's up? What's up with it? That's just hilarious. Yes, I watch her too. Positive. Ooh, that's my sister. I am who I am today because God used my mistakes. Hey, he worked them for my good like no one else ever could. Yes. Oh, thank you, Black Light. That thank you. That makes my heart happy. because that's the one thing that I do want. I want everybody to feel welcome, safe, know that I got you. Nobody's coming in here to get you. Um, and here is a level ground. I don't care what type of beefs y'all may have on other areas, or what type of mukbang wars we got going on, or mukbang wars we got going on, or just when we come in here, this is Switzerland. Is Switzerland still neutral? This is Switzerland. Thank you, Bridget C. And all I can say is truly to God be the glory. And part of that, y'all, is just I'm determined to live. And not just live, but live life abundantly. And abundantly for me doesn't mean I'm going to have all the money in the world, or I'm going to be super rich, or I'm going to have such great notoriety. Abundantly for me is peace. Just give me peace, joy, and love. Baby, I can make it on some beans and cornbread. Don't play with it. Give me a couple seeds. I can create a garden. Cucumbers, I like pickles. But yeah. For sure. Thank you, Bridget C. I appreciate all of you. I do. I thank you guys for keeping me, I keep saying keeping me relevant, but just supporting me the way that you guys did when I was out. I thank you for every text message, every DM, every live that you guys did. That's it. Man, money can't buy those things. They can't. And I had to tell, I told my sister-in-law this. I said, let me give you this marriage tip. Your fiance is not responsible for your happiness. And I know this is something that Will Smith said, but it's actually something that I learned a long time ago. You know, happiness is the things that happen around you. Joy is on the inside of you. And so that means you got to do some work to bring about joy. Has life been whooping me? Yeah, I almost feel like God and the devil had a conversation, and like in the book of Job, the guy has been like, have you considered my servants Iseashia? Because I'm like, Lord. But I bet you I won't curse God and die. As my grandmama them would say, every morning is howdy howdy. It's a new day. It's a new opportunity. And I've stopped even looking for the next day. I take it moment by moment, second by second, hour by hour, because what I learned is you can be up this morning and you can be out of here in the evening. And so sometimes we allow things so far off to pressure us that it's eating us up. My daughter, I used to worry about her all the time. What's going to happen if something happened? It happened to me and her dad and I'm not here. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, my mama's gone. And that was her worry for my brother. My brother doing fine. That joker has adjusted better than any of us, eating good, no worries in the world. And I got him because I am my brother's keeper. And I got an amazing husband that stood before the judge and said, if something happens to me, he got him because he's his brother's keeper. And then I still have my younger brother that's got him. And so I had to think about that thing. Am I going to spend all Desi life worrying about what's going to happen with Desi when I ain't here? Or am I going to enjoy Desi? Am I going to help Desi be her best self? Moment by moment, y'all. And I'm talking to myself. Black Light right here says, we thank you for having our 6, for loving us, and for supporting us. Oh, thank you, Black Light. And guess what? I just learned what the 6 is like when my son went to college, he was like, man, I gotta watch my own 6 or something. I was like, you're 6? What is a 6? I didn't know that meant your back or whatever. But yes, I know now. Yes, I got you. I got you. I got you. Thank you so much, Gio. I will definitely share you out. I will also tag you in I Am Content's video. I am going to share it and tag you guys' name in it. Thank you for still being here, the BBK, my sister, my I say mentor, my friend, my child, Helen. Because I promise you, even listening to her on the phone, my kids heard her one day and it was like, who is that sounding like grandma? Because my mama got road rage and BBK has it too. Sorry, BBK, for putting it out there, but yeah, she got the same type of road rage my mama had. And so I'm just thankful for all of you. I'm thankful that God thought enough of me to give me the courage to have a platform and to get on it. And Susie said, well, I just learned what 6 meant today too. So for you, it's a military term. For my son, he's an athlete. The athletes use it too. So wow. But yes, I got your 6. BBK is laughing, but it's true. My daughter even said it. My daughter was like, and I am finna go after this. And my daughter was like, Mama, if grandmama hadn't died from cancer, because we had this whole like couple of months where there were shootings on the highway, like road rage shootings, and it was just crazy. She said, Mama, if grandmama hadn't died from cancer, I think she probably would have died from road rage and somebody shooting her, because she'd be rolling the window down, sticking her head out, and baby, the words that come out of her mouth, sometimes I'm like, Mama, them cuss words don't even go together. That's how bad the lady was. I'm like, girl, those cuss words don't even match. How you saying them? But yeah, I do miss that lady and all of her words. But thankfully, I got a couple of people around me now that make me feel like I'm right at home. So yes, with that being said, I think that's probably the first time I say it. With that being said, just know that I'm gonna be me. No matter whose stream I'm in, I'm gonna be me. I'm just gonna be me. And it's one of those things, you take it or leave it. And know this, and this is truly where I will hang my head. I don't care how nice you are. I don't care how great your intent may be. Everybody isn't going to like you. It just is what it is. And it's not necessarily you that they don't like. It's the spirit that's in you that flusters the spirit that's on the inside of them. And I got that from one of Rita's live. I never forget it because I put the quote on my community wall. Rita said, you obviously see something in me. Because she was talking about somebody that was attacking her. She said, you obviously see something in me that I don't see in myself. And that thing hit me in my gut. Because the truth is, just like I said, I kind of feel like out of that page of the Bible, when God was like, have you considered my servant Job? And I feel like, maybe even like, have you considered my servant Aisha? Because it's just like, like, been going back and forth. It's just the way, life has been happening for me. And it doesn't mean that person is evil or that person is of the devil. It just means that your spirit and that person's spirit doesn't gel. And that's okay. Vivessa said again, which part? Was it the obviously you see something in me that I don't see in myself? And so sometimes it's not even you. It's the spirit that's in you that flusters or upset the spirit that's in them. And so they don't like you, and they don't even know why they don't like you. I don't like it. And I'm gonna be honest. There's some people, the spirit that's on the inside of me will not allow me to fool with the spirit that's on the inside of them. Am I right? No. Lord help me. My prayer is always that God allows me to see the heart that He sees. And sometimes the heart just be looking real black, real empty. It says there's a saying that the God in you irritates the hell in them. Oh yeah. And I used to say all the time, and I still say, I'm that person that will love the hell out of you. I will. I will. I'm thankful for you guys. I am. Thank you for that. Wenceslao said, OMG, I wish I could have met your mom. I think her and I could get into some mischief. Listen, I had to send up, I made a post on Facebook, and I told my mom and my best friend, I said, listen, don't y'all get put up out of heaven here. Don't y'all be up there cutting up, because they the same type of cut up. His cut up wasn't so bad. It was funny because yesterday I was dealing with something on my Facebook, and I had to tag his sister. I was like, this is where Tony's supposed to be, right here. I need him. Because this is the part where I asked him, who raised these children? And she stepped in and she said something that he would typically say. Actually, she said something a little better than what he say. And all I could say was, yep, you good. I'm good. I got it. You feel the shoes well. You feel the shoes well. But yes, that's true. My mama was some kind of petty. Oh, she was some kind of petty. Oh my God, that lady was some kind of petty. But stayed down, but had one of the best hearts, would give you the shirt off her back. She just kind of had her share of things in life that kind of made her the way she was. And I learned to be okay with it. And sometimes we have to learn to be okay, especially if we want to love people and keep people in our lives. And I'm not talking about toxic individuals, but those that, like for me, honor your mother and father is an important thing. And so honoring her was what I had to do, whether she honored me or not. Some days it was easy. Most days it was hard, but I did it. And I got some footage that I'm going to try my best to get into this editing thing. Y'all know I have not yet edited a video, but that I can put together of her, because she was hilarious. In all her extraness, she was hilarious. And I'm thankful that God gave us the opportunity to get that mother-daughter role correct. It was like literally the day that my grandmother passed away, whom I reverenced as a mother, and I looked at my mom more like my big sister, that the shift happened. And when that shift happened, with some work, God allowed things to kind of just fall in place the way they should have been. But I don't regret anything. My life has been my life. People often say, you go back and change what? Nothing. Not a thing. Because everything that I've endured, I've experienced, has made me the person who I am today. It's made me love the way that I love. It makes me see people in a different light. It makes me not judge. It makes me try to treat people who really aren't worth treating with kindness, still with kindness, because you don't know what anybody's situation was. You don't know what the backstory is that causes someone to be who they are today. And a lot of times when you see people that are mean and what's the word? Spitting venom, it's because they're hurting. And Blacklight Records and I have this thing where we agree to disagree on hurt people hurt people. I've heard that all my life. And it wasn't until this year that I was like, that doesn't make sense. Because I know I've been hurt. And I don't ever want anybody to feel any of the hurt that I've experienced. So I don't know that hurt people hurt people. And we got to stop allowing that to be an excuse for people to be mean. We have to. Now, of course, it's hopefully my kids will eventually feel that way about me. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised how your kids feel about you now. I always loved my mother. Even in all her wrong, I always loved her. And I'm grateful that she got the opportunity to, in my eyes, redeem herself as a grandmother. The vet says, happy for you. It happened. You both came together. Yep. And she was mean to the end. Don't get me wrong, because I was trying to hold her. I've helped people that aren't even related to me when they've taken their last breath. And my mama was like, no, stop. Don't touch me. Leave me alone. I'll never forget. But the one thing she never does is take her glasses off, and she took them off and gave them to me. And so I knew I'm okay. But with that being said, that's number 2. I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thank you for all of the thumbs up. If you have not thumbs up the video, please do so. Just kind of wanted to share with you guys my why, as I'm remembering my why for being on YouTube, as well as letting you guys know who I am. I feel like most of you know, especially the regulars. I feel like I've been pretty consistent. I am who I am. I don't always go with the flow, and it's not intentional. It's just because I see life different, and I see life different because of everything I've been through. So yeah, the third, with that being said, I'm going to get off of here. I thank you guys so much. I wish I could tell you I'll be back tomorrow, but I don't know. We have to get my son back to college tomorrow. He's been home for 2 weeks. Wayne's Slaw says, thank you so much for the live. I think we all needed this today. I feel a sense of calm come over me. Wow, Wayne, thank you. Hugs to you, Nail Court, as well. Oh, to God be the glory, Susie. Thank y'all. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Y'all don't even realize that this is therapeutic for me as well. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in the YouTube streets. It's definitely what I needed. BBK, positive pusher. You can talk your way to a healthier relationship. I am content. I will be getting to your pages to get caught up. Believe it or not, Blacklight, I'm caught up. I just been a little quiet. Thank you all so much. I'm happy that you guys enjoyed the live, and I am so happy that we're all kind of walking away feeling a sense of calm. Like, that's what I want as we go about our day, our night. I pray that you guys can sleep well. Thank you so much. You can talk your way to a healthier relationship. I think I said I was coming to your place too. Cocoa Butter, thank you. You have a great night as well. Cocoa Butter, are you a content creator? I feel like we're connected, but I know here lately we've just kind of been seeing each other on the YouTube streets. I'm pretty sure we're connected, but I'll check to make sure. Thank you guys again for just being with me. Like, I love it. Thank you, Minister Terrence Tower, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you, BBK, and all others that have joined the membership. I appreciate you. some videos will be coming soon. I actually want to do a question and answer and some game nights. And so yeah, we'll get all of that done. Well, thank you so much, Cocoa Butter, for coming in and supporting me. It means more than you know. Gossip Girl 20, I know I've been seeing you out in these streets, and thank you. It means so much that tonight was your first time and that you came in and enjoyed yourself. To all of you, I thank you. I love you. When I say I love you, I mean it. No ifs, ands, but about it. Hate does not reside here. I have no room for it. Um, Nothing but love here. Um, and wishing you guys nothing but the best, right? Because uh, 2020 has been real, and we need to be wishing each other the best. It's going to take a village. It's going to take us coming together to get through this year and look ahead to a greater, I want to say 2021, but perhaps 2020 can come out. You know how the horse starts off a little slow, or the dog starts off a little slow, or even a track runner starts off a little slow, but then they kind of pull through in the end. Perhaps 2020 can pull through in the end, and we can experience some big things. But I guarantee you, even though you may not have experienced some big things, you've experienced some great things. And we just have to make sure that we keep those great things in the forefront of our mind. I gained another individual in my home, which makes me happy. My daughter is in her home with her husband. That makes me happy. My son has been home for 2 weeks. That made me happy. Even though he's leaving to go back tomorrow. So there's things to be happy about. My brother got to celebrate his 30th birthday party, so much so that he cried the ugly cry. That makes me happy. I'm monetized. That makes me happy. And look, y'all see the BBK. Got membership to, hey, so that makes me happy. So yeah. The one thing I said about 2019, people kept saying, I'm so ready for 2019 to be over. I'm so ready for 2019 to be over. Yeah, be careful about that. You don't know what's around the corner. Just got to learn how to trust, be thankful for what we have, and work with what we got, right? Thank you, Vivette. And just remember, you may not be living the life that you visioned for yourself, but you are living the life that God has for you. If you were not, then you wouldn't be in that particular life. And some of it is based off of things that we've done, which has caused us to have to go a different route. Oh, thank you, BBK. Thank you for the super sticker. That has caused us to go a different route. But we're right where we need to be. So instead of trying to figure out or pouting or being upset about not being where we want to be, let's thank God for where we are, and let's figure out how to move forward with what we currently have and being blessed by that. So yes, I'm actually about to go now. BBK, thank you so much. I appreciate you and your love and your support. And I see your heart. I know that your heart is pure. I know that you don't have any ill intentions for anyone. I also know that just like me, you have some trust issues, and that's okay. I think we all do. And so the key to it is to figure out how we can work through them. And once we learn how to kind of work through and maneuver that, we'll see doors opening up for new things for us. And that's for all of us. I know I'm not the only one that got some trust issues. I know she's not either. She said, yeah, that's okay. In the words of Desi, it's okay. So it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, we're in this thing together. We're in this love together. So yes, good night, y'all. Thank y'all so much. You guys have literally spent 2 hours and 9 minutes with me, and I have enjoyed every moment of it. Pretty saucy. I don't know if you're still here. Thank you. This meant the world to me. When I say that I love you, I mean it. I love you. Yes. So yes, I'll see you guys later. Have an amazing night. I'm sending lots of love, joy, peace, blessings your way. Have an amazing night. I love you guys. Bye.